Welcome to the Keith Noble Show, brought to you by Nobles Financial Network and Auto Chicks, both of which you can find on Facebook. Today we're going to talk about the regulatory state that we live in. So, we have an important education system in this country. Most people have no idea how the economy actually functions. Most people have no idea about monetary policy. They have no idea about fiscal policy. They have no idea how federal budgeting works, or even state budgeting in their own states. They simply have no idea. And they fill in these, oh, we have a car alarm. They fill in what they don't know with fiction of how they think it works, or how they think it should work, or how they think it shouldn't work, so they can create arguments, straw man arguments for how it should work better when they don't know how it works today. They don't understand what the basic problems are today. Several days ago, I posted a rather long video. We talked about, among other things, monetary policy in there. People have no idea how these wealth transfers of the 1% occur. They think they occur, well, the Marxists, the socialists, the progressives have a vision of how they occur that is utterly and completely disconnected from reality. Wealth transfers of the 1% happen primarily via monetary policy. However, we're not going to talk about that specifically today, but the regulatory state. So people have no idea how the government actually works. None. By and large, Congress does not pass regulations. Congress passes legislation enabling regulatory agencies, bureaucracies within the federal government to go write regulations. So you are being governed not by these people you voted for. You're being essentially governed by these bureaucrats who write and enforce regulations that you have little to no say in. And so, to give you an idea, there's about 9 million of these bureaucrats who are creating and enforcing these regulations on your life for everything from how much water your toilet can use, to light bulbs, to your garden furniture, to you name it. And the idea here that they like to propose, well, it's for your safety, it's for the environment, it's to make things fair, blah, 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 blah. Well, no, that's generally not the case. This is a revenue generating activity for the people involved. That's how it works. So if you're a politician and you're writing these laws to enable regulations, you might put in there, in that bill, you'll put in there exemptions for certain companies. So company XYZ does not get regulated, company ABC does get regulated. Now, in the law, they're not going to call out company XYZ and company ABC, but what they're going to do is they're going to put certain conditions. Well, these regulations don't exist under these conditions or those conditions, and they're the conditions of company ABC, and they don't apply to ABC, and they do apply to XYZ or whatever it may be. And what do the politicians get for that? Well, they get campaign donations. They get consulting jobs for their spouses, who may have no qualifications in that industry whatsoever. They get six-figure jobs for their ne'er-do-well nephew. As we've seen in the case of the Bidens, they get access to their children sit on boards of foreign companies. This is just corrupt. It's wrong. It's absolutely, completely wrong. The volume of federal regulations is such, nobody knows them all. Nobody can even count them all. That's how many there are. There was a fellow a few years ago, I forget which university he was from, one of the Southern universities, Clemson, Duke, something like that. A professor, he wrote a paper. It was pretty interesting. Basically, on average, Americans commit 3 felonies a day completely unknowingly. I mean, there's so many regulations. There's so many laws governing us. We can't even keep track. Law enforcement can't even keep track. But if you own a company, you own a business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's virtually impossible to do anything without facing a mountain of regulations. Now, they'll say these are for the environment and for your safety. No, they're for them to make money. Okay? They're to squash competition. So if you pass a regulation, let's say it requires you to generate 2,000 pages a year of documentation. Now, if you're a large corporation, so you hire 4 or 5 people, generate that 2,000 pages a year, and it's easy. If you're a small company trying to compete with a big company, you can't afford to hire 4 or 5 people to complete regulations. It's just not feasible. You'll go out of business if you do that. So you go out of business anyway because you can't do that. And this is part of the whole corruption of the system. This is why large corporations that hire lobbyists draft these regulations and laws. Congressmen aren't sitting around drafting laws. These people couldn't draft a 500-word essay in high school. Some of them. So they're not sitting around drafting laws. Lobbyists draft laws. So let me give you a couple examples we know about. Obamacare, which has lately been in the news again. Obamacare was written by the former vice president of lobbying for WellPoint. How do we know that? Because after Obamacare was passed by the Democrats, they thanked her on the Senate floor for having written the legislation. So understand that. It was written by a former VP of lobbying, is who wrote Obamacare for a healthcare company, for the advantage of the healthcare company, not for your advantage. Okay, Dodd-Frank, another great example, regulating the financial industry. You think Christopher Dodd and Barney Frank sat down with a typewriter one weekend and pounded that out? No. It was written by Citibank. It was written by a Wall Street bank. It was written to their advantage, not your advantage. And specifically, it was written to the advantage of the Wall Street banks and a disadvantage of smaller and regional banks. You need to understand this, how this works. This is not being done for your benefit. This is not being done for the benefit of your mom and pop store down the street. This is not being done for the benefit of the fellow who has a better idea how to do something. It's being written to squash those people. That's what the regulatory state is. 9 million people making sure you do what they want. That is not government by the people, for the people, of the people. And we need to end this. One of the many things Donald Trump has done I don't agree with. One of the things I do agree with is his attempt to limit or roll back the volume of regulation. It's simply insane, and it's not done for your benefit. It is done for the benefit of those who pay politicians. We need to address this as a country. We need to get out of this. We need to fix this, because this is one of the reasons we have so much unemployment, such limited wage growth, and such limited GDP growth in this country. So, thank you for tuning in. Go find the Nobles Financial Network and Auto Chicks on Facebook, and go look up my book on Amazon, Our Dogs Do Not Bark, A Politically Incorrect Dystopian Tale. Thank you so much.